So this is the famous, well, this is the street where the famous Dick Whittington lived. 4 times Lord Mayor of London. This is Whittington House and the church next door where he was buried. The street was popular with merchants importing wine from Bordeaux. When Richard Whittington, more commonly known as Dick Whittington, 4 times Lord Mayor of the City of London, died with no children in 1423, he left money to build a college of priests and an almshouse, together known as Whittington College, and to be associated with the church St. Michael Paternoster Royal at the bottom of the lane. Whittington paid for the rebuilding of this church. Whittington lived just next door, and at his death his body was interred here. And a mummified cat was found in the church in 1949. So Richard Whittington, son of a Gloucestershire landowner, made his fortune in the textile trade, used his wealth in helping many charitable causes. A generous and popular Lord Mayor, celebrated in the pantomime story Dick Whittington. As the name suggests, Skinner's Hall traded in animal skins and furs. Now these superb Guildhall buildings are now hired out for top class events, and the guild companies do much charitable fundraising. From Aldgate Hill, we're going to cross over the main road into Cousin Lane, and then near the end do a left underneath Cannon Bridge, and we go towards the River Thames. Have a look at the Thames. This is where we walk under Cannon Bridge towards the Thames, on the Thames path. Steelyard Passage. Another diarist of the time, John Evelyn, wrote 2nd September 1666. This fatal night, about 10, began that deplorable fire near Fish Street in London. The conflagration was so universal, and the people so astonished, that from the beginning I know not by what despondency or fate they hardly stirred to quench it, so that when there was nothing heard or seen but crying out and lamentation, running about like distracted creatures, without at all attempting to save even their goods, such a strange consternation there was upon them, so as it burned both in breadth and length the churches, public halls, exchange hospitals, monuments and ornaments, leaping after a prodigious manner from house to house and street to street, at great distances one from the other. For the heat, with a long set of fair and warm weather, had even ignited the air and prepared the materials to conceive the fire, which devoured after an incredible manner houses, furniture, and everything. Here we saw the Thames covered with goods, floating, all the barges and boats laden with what some had time and courage to save. Oh, the miserable and calamitous spectacle, such as haply the world had not seen the like since the foundation of it. All the sky was of a fiery aspect, like the top of a burning oven. The light seen above 40 miles round about for many nights. God grant my eyes may never behold the like, now seeing above 10,000 houses all in one flame, the noise and cracking and thunder of the impetuous flames, the shrieking of women and children, the hurry of people, the fall of towers, houses and churches was like a hideous storm, and the air all about so hot and inflamed that at last one was not able to approach it. So that they were forced to stand still and let the flames burn on, which they did for near 2 miles in length and 1 in breadth. The clouds of smoke were dismal, and reached upon computation near 50 miles in length. There used to be a plaque here on the wall. You can see the lines there, but it's been taken down. I don't know why. It's by Cannon Bridge, and from my memory it talked about the Hanseatic people or Hanseatic League, which were German merchants from North Germany, ports like Hamburg, Bremen. Is Bremen a port? I know it's Hamburg. And they worked here, and they were able to do trade here in London centuries ago. And they got together because they wanted to stick together to stop the pirates taking their cargo from their ships. And so that was the Hanseatic League. Now we're going to walk back up from the Thames back up the main road using All Hallows Lane, which is there. From Suffolk Lane, going to go up and around to Pulteney Hill Lane. Lawrence Pulteney Hill. A very fine example of houses from that period. Not many houses date that far back in the City of London today. From Lawrence Place Hill, we're going to go straight forward along a small lane. We come to Arthur Street. There's building works going on there, but there's left a small room of pavement for us to walk through, where we will get to King's William Street. There we can have a look at London Bridge, then come back from London Bridge, King William Street, turning right, and we'll end up looking straight at the monument, and we go and see the monument. And that huge tall building is nicknamed the Walkie-Talkie. That building with the sharp edge is nicknamed the Scalpel. Our current London Bridge was built in 1973 after an American bought the old one and transported it to Lake Havasu City in Arizona, where it looks very nice. And this is the Fishmongers' Hall. There's been a hall here since 1434, and the Fishmongers' Company Hall was the first of 40 livery companies to have their hall destroyed by the Great Fire of London, with Pudding Lane just a stone's throw away. The dagger that London's Mayor Woolworth used to kill Wat Tyler, the leader of the Peasants' Revolt at Smithfield, was held by the Fishmongers' Company and was on display in their hall. Whether it is still there, I don't know. I'm standing on London Bridge, looking along the Thames towards the Tower of London, and the Tower Bridge. This used to be known as the Pool of London, the envy of the world because of its thriving trade activities. And over there is Custom House, where ship owners, brokers, sea captains had to report and pay their duties to Custom House since 1275. Great quantities of different types of fish were sold at Billingsgate Dock from at least the 17th century until the late 19th century. This present London Bridge is a box girder bridge built from concrete and steel. It replaced the 19th century stone arch bridge, which in turn had replaced the 600-year-old stone-built medieval bridge. Before that, in the Roman times, they were wooden bridges. Sir Christopher Wren and Robert Hooke designed the monument as a memorial to the Great Fire of London 1666. And possibly the design of the column is more Hooke than Wren. And here in the road marks the exact spot of the baker's shop, which started the Great Fire of London, exactly 202 feet away from the monument, which is 202 feet high. And it's 311 steps up to the top of the monument for a great view. But there's a long queue today, so it'll have to be another day.
It's just, it's not necessarily big stuff, which is quite a lot of like... Turn it down a bit, just a little, because we're really right here.
It says on the wall there 1792 THD and RD 1794. Here we are, top of the monument. Tower Bridge, River Thames, the Shard. That church down there is St Magnus the Martyr Church, where the old London Bridge in Roman times started from. That's St Paul's, and then in the distance the BT Tower. So that's the walkie-talkie. There's the gherkin. Then the cheese grater. Down the street below there, that would be the way to Billingsgate Fish Market, as it used to be before it was moved to the Docklands. Over there is HMS Belfast. And of course the Tower Bridge. And then Canary Wharf in the distance. When you've climbed the 311 steps to the top of the monument and come back down again, you receive a certificate. This building, Farriner's House, is named after the baker whose shop started the Great Fire of London. He went to bed at night and 2 hours later woke up from his sleep with smoke entering his bedroom. Next door, his next bedroom, was his young daughter and maidservant. They escaped by, the baker and his daughter escaped by going up to the roof, through the attic to the roof, and had to climb on to the neighbouring roof of the house next door, but the maidservant was too scared to jump onto the next roof, and she was the fire's first victim. After seeing the monument, going to go down Fish Street Hill, cross over the main road, look at St Magnus the Martyr. Fish Street Hill would have been much steeper than it is today, and I can imagine the fishermen, merchants, buyers all walking up and down this steep hill many centuries ago. Fish Street Hill would have been one of the first streets built in Roman London because of its attachment to the River Thames and to London Bridge when that was built. And that church is St. Magnus the Martyr, where Roman London Bridge was. This piece of thick timber at the St. Magnus the Martyr Church by London Bridge is from the original London Bridge in Roman times, from the year AD 75, found in 1931. The original London Bridge, Roman times, came through here, over the Thames there, was made out of wood. When we got to medieval times, the bridge was made out of stone. Henry Yavell, who rebuilt Westminster Hall during the reign of Richard II, is buried here at St. Magnus the Martyr Church by London Bridge. Just imagine, at the turn of the 20th century, London relied upon horsepower to pull the carts carrying the goods. Tens of thousands of horses, ponies and donkeys would have been driven along this busy road each day. A team of city cleaners with powerful water hoses would have cleaned these streets every night. The hoses were fitted to the water hydrants and the cleaners wore oilskin aprons and boots. Washing the waste into the street gutters. This area would have had a particular not nice fishy smell mixed with the other waste. Now there's the monument, and here is where once the old Billingsgate fish market once stood. When Sir Horace Jones, the city architect, built a special market here at Billingsgate in 1876. This was the city's fish market until 1992, when it was moved to more modern premises in the London Docklands. I believe that is Britannia. After looking at Billingsgate, I've decided not to go to the pub, but to walk up Lovett Lane, wonderful old cobbles lane, and then make my way to St Dunstan's in the East Church Garden. That says East Cheap, this is East Cheap. Top of Lovett Lane. And on East Cheap, going to turn right, make our way to St Dunstan's in the east. From East Cheap, actually going to take the first right turning, back down the hill, St Mary at Hill, and then take a left small lane, St Dunstan in the East Church Garden. The architect of this church, St Dunstan's in the East, was Wren. Jane Wren, the daughter of Sir Christopher Wren. After going through St Dunstan in the East Church Garden, we will go down probably St Dunstan's Hill onto Lower Thames Street, cross over to Old Billingsgate Walk, and then follow the Thames path in front of Custom House. Keep to the Thames path as much as we can all the way to the Tower of London, and turn left up Petty Wells to Gloucester Court and then finish at All Hallows by the Tower Church. And that's where we finish today's walk. Here on Lower Thames Street you can go and visit some old Roman baths, but it's not open until April, just open in the summer months. You have to go online to check. Custom House. So this plaque says that the designer of this jetty sadly was killed in a motor accident in France before it was completed. This circular brick building is the entrance to the subway under the River Thames, once used by the London Hydraulic Power Company that I spoke about in the last video, from Tower of London to St Anne's Church Limehouse. Built in 1868, 1869, originally for the use of pedestrians. Once a tower bridge though was built in 1894, that made this use obsolete. And so the hydraulic company took use of it. Very close to Tower Hill is the Church All Hallows by the Tower. Samuel Pepys climbed the church's steeple to see the saddest sight that his eyes ever saw, London ablaze. It survived the Great Fire of London but was destroyed during the Blitz. 30th December 1940. Rebuilt and reopened in 1957. Inside is a wonderful free museum. Let's go inside and see. The pulpit was brought here after the destruction of St Swithin's Church near the London Stone. William Penn, the founder of US state of Pennsylvania, was baptized here in 1644. The font was later given to Christ Church, Philadelphia in 1697. William Penn's father, Admiral Penn, helped organise the fire break which saved the church from the Great Fire. John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, married a local girl here in the year 1797. The infamous Judge Jeffreys, the hanging judge, married here in 1667. The wood for the chapel crucifix inside the church comes from the ship the Cutty Sark. The ivory figure of Christ comes from the flagship of the Spanish Armada. Just before the Leonardo Royal Hotel, there's a blue plaque on the wall to Tubby Clayton. Tubby Clayton served as vicar at All Hallows by the Tower for 40 years, from 1922 to 1962, and oversaw the rebuilding of the church after World War II. Tubby Clayton also founded Talbot House, a rest home for soldiers serving on the front lines at Ypres and other battlefields in Flanders. And helped collect much historical artifacts that we see inside the church today. His effigy is in the north aisle with his dog.
way too much for our budget, but if we get a nice one...
Samuel Pepys called this our own church, where Charles Dickens called this church ghastly grim because of those skulls over the gateway. I came this way at night because I wanted to see what the skulls looked like, ghastly grim at night time. Charles Dickens used to walk around a lot at night, getting ideas for his stories and meeting all sorts of characters. This is a statue commemorating construction workers who have built this city of London, and for all those who have lost their lives while building the city. That bright light above him is the moon. This is the Royal Mint, where all our coinage was made after coming here from the Tower of London. It came here until the 1970s when it moved to South Wales. Hence the high walls and the high iron railings and a very large tall door.